All right, my friend, this is hack number 15. We are almost to the end of the series, but I got some bonuses for you as well. So hack number 15 is keeping your personal utilization low. Now, once again, I know we're talking about business credit, but Experian is very, very sensitive. So if you have your utilization too high on the personal side, it'll drop your personal scores, and it can also drop your Experian business scores as well. There's also an SBSS score, which is a mixture of your business credit and your personal credit as well. So if your personal credit goes low because you over leverage on your personal credit cards, your business scores can go lower as well. Your SBSS score will go lower as well. Your SBSS score is very important when you're trying to get lines of credit. Your Experian business credit score is important with some banks. Some lenders will look at it, some banks will not. So a tip that I like to give people is keep your utilization under 10%. There's also a thing called scattered revolving debt. So for instance, scattered revolving debt would say if you have 4 different credit cards and you have a balance on all 4 of those cards, that's called scattered revolving debt. It's revolving credit cards and there's scattered debt on all 4 of those cards. So what I want you to do instead is have a balance on only 1 or 2 of those cards. You want to pay down the other 2 cards completely and only have a balance of like 10% or less on those other 2 accounts. If you want to get the best funding possible, have 0 utilization, but up to 10% on no more than 2 cards will be fine. Now, if you have anything over that, it's considered scattered revolving debt. Anything over 30% will start dropping your score. Anything over 20% can start dropping your personal credit scores. So, just to put that in perspective, if you have a $100 credit card, which hopefully you don't, and you use 20% of it, that means that you've used $20 out of that $100 that you have on your credit card. Put that in more perspective, you have a $10,000 credit card, which hopefully you do. And on your $10,000 credit card, you have $2,000 used on it. You still use 20% of your available limit, which is 20% utilization. So you want to keep your utilization under 10%. You have a $100 card, only have it at 10%. If you have a $10,000 card, only keep it at $1,000. Keeping it under that 10% makes it look like you have a lot of money, but you don't need it, which is kind of a catch-22 in itself, or catch-21, whatever it is. But they want to see that you have the money and you don't need it. If you look like you need it, they're not going to want to give you more, because why would I want to give you more money if it looks like you need the money? I only want to give you money if you don't really need it. That way you can use it responsibly. But if you're in some type of financial situation where you're over leveraged in so many different areas and now you need to use this money to kind of fill in the gaps in other places, that sounds risky to me. I don't want to give you any money. But if you have this limit, like $10,000 limits on a personal side, and you're not really using it, it makes you look a little more responsible. So it's nothing wrong with using the card completely. Use it to a full $10,000, but pay it off before your statement date. When your due date comes up, it's probably, let's say, the 20th. Your statement date is probably the 23rd. You want to have that card paid down to that 10% or that 0% before your statement date. So I would pay it on your due date, so that way it has time to report. And then on your statement date, it's going to show $0 or it's going to show 10%. Now, you've used it to the max, but it's going to go down and your utilization is not going to go up. Plus, this is another tip. I know this is a long video, but this is another tip. When you have a $10,000 limit on there and you use the full $10,000, but you pay it off, they can see that you used it. Now, that looks good to you because you've used this money and you've paid it back. So if I've used it and paid it back responsibly, why not give me an increase? That's how they're going to think. So let them give you an increase. Use it, pay it back, be responsible, and let them increase it. So now that you have a higher personal credit card, they will give you higher business credit cards. So use your cards responsibly. Make sure you keep your utilization under 10% if you're looking for funding. Any other time, it doesn't matter. Your scores will go down, but when you're looking for funding, keep your cards under 10%. Don't have scattered revolving debt, and you'll be in a good position to get funding.